TA students, I am Sanju Jhajharia, Assistant Professor of English at Government College Ratangarh. Today I am going to explain 3rd, 4th and 5th stanzas of the love song of J.Alfred Prufrock by T.S. Eliot. As you know, this poem is included in B.A. Part 2nd, Paper 1st by Maharaja Ganga Singh University. So now our 3rd stanza. And before explaining this stanza, I am giving introduction of Prufrock, the main character of this poem. So Prufrock is the central human figure in the poem. He is a sophisticated man of the town. His emotional springs have gone dry. His love song is not the spontaneous effusion of the heart of the romantic lover, but a suppressed desire of the heart which feeds upon itself. It takes the form of self-depreciating introspection and pitiless dissection of its own cowardice and irresolution. The first 12 lines describe Prufrock's proposed visit to the hotel. The journey, however, mental. Prufrock does not move from his place at all. He also does not have a companion to share his sentiments. The question is Prufrock's visit to the hotel and propose to his lady love. The journey is mental, not physical. So Prufrock does not move from his place at all. The man is going to a sophisticated party, apparently ladies' occasion of a cultural kind, but one which shares the vacuity of Boston society. Prufrock, however, has a special mission, for he is in love with one of the ladies and he is going to declare it. But he is an irresolute person, indecisive person, for whom the simplest decision is a matter of strain, speculation and distress. The poem follows a sort of action. Prufrock goes towards the room where the women come and go. They are talking about Michelangelo. It is explained in my previous video. So they are not deeply interested in art or culture, but they just pretend to be civilized and cultured ladies. Prufrock goes to the room in which he wants to propose, and it is imaginary room, but lacks courage to say anything. He is an irresolute person. He is very timid. By these two images, the poet suggests Prufrock's character and personality. So now I am giving explanation of third stanza. And indeed there will be time to wonder, do I dare and do I dare? Time to turn back and descend the stair with a bald spot in the middle of my hair. They will say how his hair is growing thin. My morning coat, my collar mounting firmly to the chin, my necktie rich and modest but asserted by a simple pin. They will say, but how his arms and legs are thin. Do I dare disturb the universe? In a minute there is time for decision and revisions, which a minute will reverse. So now this is the characteristic of Prufrock. And indeed there will be time. So Prufrock says that there is no hurry. And indeed there will be time. So there is no hurry before arriving at the tea party in the room. To wonder, do I dare and do I dare? So before arriving at the tea party in the room where he has to propose to the lady, there will be enough time to decide and to cancel his decisions and redecide, to wonder if he has courage to declare his love or not. After a glance at the woman in the room, so it is time to turn back and descend the stair. So it is the time to take the decision, or it time to redecide, to wonder if he has courage to declare his love or not. After a glance at the woman in the room, Prufrock proceeds to explain the nature of his occupation, which is only a nice weighing of his capacity and courage to make the proposal. But at the right moment of action, he simply turns back and steals down the stairs, leaving people to comment upon. They will say how his hair is growing thin, my morning coat, my collar mounting firmly to the chin. So he leaves people so they can say about him something which is disturbing. So but at the right moment of action, he simply turns back and steals down the stairs, leaving people to comment upon the bald spot in the middle of his head. It is a fit symbol of his cowardice. He may be dressed smartly. So my morning coat, my collar mounting firmly to the chin. So he may be dressed smartly with his mounting collar, rich and sober necktie, and simple but noteworthy pin. So pin is noteworthy. So however, his rich dress cannot conceal his thin arms and legs. So my necktie, rich and modest but asserted by a simple pin, they will say, but how his arms and legs are thin, and people may say that his arms are very thin and legs are very thin from the eyes gazing upon him as he retreats. This going and coming back is in his imagination only. Prufrock does not move from his place. For him, the simple act of putting the overwhelming question seems to be so momentous as to create an upheaval in the universe. So, do I dare disturb the universe? So he says that he does not have any dare to disturb the universe. In a minute there is time for decision and revisions, which a minute will. So, but experience has taught him that all his resolutions are reversed in a minute by his wavering and timid mind. Prufrock is an irresolute person for whom the simplest decision is a matter of strain, speculation, and distress. He thinks that whatever he says to the lady may lead to an irrevocable step taken into the future, for which he must bear the responsibility. This is why he asks, do I dare disturb the universe? He thinks that any action which changes the patterns of things disturbs the universe. And since he does not know where he is going in universal terms, how can he take the responsibility? This thought about the universe appears serious, but it is really foolish to be guided by such a thought. It makes one inactive. Prufrock may take a decision, the next moment he may revise it and reverse his decision immediately. As such a person like him cannot do anything. He cannot take a decision and set. He becomes timid and inactive. He thinks of doing something, but then the very next moment he changes his decisions. So here universe means universe of his life, his complacent word. So the conclusion of this stanza is, Prufrock's character is drawn in these lines very dearly. Prufrock's daily life is summed up in 100 indecisions, 100 visions and revisions. It means that Prufrock never takes a decision and never does what he thinks of doing. Here Prufrock's indecisiveness is emphasized. Prufrock lacks courage, he is timid and lazy, he is overconscious, which makes him timid and inactive. Prufrock also refers to the clever mask which the sophisticated people put on to keep up the show of social decorum, and for them to murder and create means something quite different from the usual meaning of the phrase. It may mean for Prufrock at least making decisions only to unmake them and keep on weaving the proverbial Penelop's web. Penelope undid at night the work that she had done during the day. Thus she continued the work without end. Similarly, Works and Days refers to the famous poem written by Hesiod, a Greek poet of 8th century BC. So I think you understood it, and you also understood what is the indecisive nature of Prufrock. I have known them all already, known them all, have known the evenings, mornings, afternoons. I have measured out my life with coffee spoons. I know the voices dying with a dying fall beneath the music from a farther room. So how should I presume? Now Prufrock is speaking or talking to himself, and he is saying, Prufrock saying, for I have known them all already. Prufrock says that the women are known to him in daily routine of known them all. He known them all, have known the evenings, mornings, afternoons. He have known them in evenings, mornings, means in his daily routines of tea parties and social gatherings, where he and his companions spend their whole time in the making and drinking of tea. And I have measured out my life with coffee spoons. So he has known them by spending their whole time in the making and drinking of coffee. So his life is measured not in terms of actions but by the doses of coffee he can lift with his spoon to his mouth. So his whole life has been a monotonous round of coffee drinking with the same set of people. He has known the voices of the singers in the next room and appreciates their dying cadence. So I know the voices dying with a dying fall beneath the music from a farther room. So he is saying his whole life he has known the voices of the singers in the next room and appreciates their dying cadence. So his problem is an old one. In the face of the past failures, any fresh attempt to come to a decision seems to be problematical. So how should I presume? So how he can take the decision? He says that he cannot be certain that he would be able to propose to his lady love. The problem before Prufrock is neither new nor unexpected. It has become a part of his daily life. He knows he has no courage to do anything or take a decision. He is an irresolute person where he and his companions spend their whole time in the making and drinking of coffee. His life is measured not in terms of actions but by the doses of coffee he can lift with his spoon to his mouth. His whole life has been a monotonous round of coffee drinking with the same set of people. So Prufrock says that he remembers the sharp, pitiless gaze of the eyes that fix him as if they have already measured him to the top of his bent. He feels that they know his true character. In the face of his knowing stare, he has found himself in the pathetic predicament of a poor worm fixed to the wall by a sharp pinpoint and wriggling there helplessly. So the conclusion of this poem is Prufrock is a man of the town whose emotional springs have gone dry. His love song is not the spontaneous effusion gushing out of the heart of a romantic lover. His love song is a suppressed desire of the heart which feeds upon itself and takes the form of self-depreciation, introspection. So I think you understood it. And now the next stanza. And I have known the arms already, known them all, arms that are braceleted and white and bare, but in the lamplight, downed with the light brown hair. Is it perfume from a dress that makes me so disgraced? Arms that lie along a table or wrap about a shawl, and should I then presume? And how should I begin? Shall I say I have gone at dusk through narrow streets and watched the smoke that rises from the pipes of lonely men in the shirt sleeves leaning out of windows? I should have been a pair of ragged clothes scuttling across the floors of silent siege. And I have known the arms already. Now Prufrock remembers the scent of the female race. And I have known the arms. He says that he knows those arms, already known them all, and he knows all ladies already. So Prufrock remembers the scent of the female race, which distracts his mind to the memory of female arms that are braceleted. He knows those arms which are braceleted, white and bare, but in lamplight, downed with light brown hair. So white, he knows the female arms, white, bare and braceleted arms lying alone on the table or clasping a shawl, and they have soft brown hair visible in lamplight. Is it perfume from a dress that makes me so disgrace? So enough to make, but they have not infused in him courage enough to make the proposal. He naturally finds it hard to make a fresh start and introduce the subject in a proper way. Arms that lie along a table or wrap about a shawl, and should I then presume, and how should I begin? So he feels it difficult how to start his proposal. So but they have not infused in him courage enough to make the proposal. He naturally finds it hard to make a fresh start and introduce the subject in a proper way. He does not think that he will be able to declare his love or the lady will give a favorable response. Shall I say I have gone at dusk through narrow streets? He does not even know how he should start the talk of his love for the lady. All this happens in his imagination. Prufrock is just thinking of all this drama in his mind. Prufrock, as you know, is an irresolute person for whom the simplest decision is a matter of strain, speculation and distress. His thoughts take the form of self-depicting introspection and pitiless dissection of his own cowardice and irresolution. The memory of the lady's dress, arms, hair, etc. does not infuse in him the courage enough to make the proposal. He naturally finds it hard to make a fresh start and introduce the subject in a proper way. He finds it hard to propose to her. He thinks over the matter silently for some time and then outlines a tentative approach to the question. He thinks of several ways to propose to her. For example, he may begin with a reference to the lonely man. So shall I say, I have gone at dusk through narrow streets and watched the smoke that rises from the pipes of lonely men in shirt sleeves leaning out of windows. So he thinks over the matter silently for some time and then outlines a tentative approach to the question. He thinks of several ways to propose to her. He may begin with a reference to the lonely man in shirt sleeves leaning out of the window with the smoke rising from their pipes. This may be a good hint at his own loneliness and boredom, which have compelled him to seek relief in love and marriage. But he cannot pursue the point, and disgusted with his scurrilous mind, he prefers the life of a simple creature in the bed of the sea, which driven by its natural instincts. So I should have been a pair of ragged claws scuttling across the floor of silent seas. So he wants to pursue the point, and disgusted with his scrupulous mind, he prefers the life of a simple creature in the bed of the sea, which driven by its natural instincts rushes towards its prey, seizes it with its sharp claws and devours it without a moment's thought wasted over it. But man looks before and after, and Prufrock has merely watched the women without making any effort to intensify his acquaintance with them into any form of intimacy. And now the conclusion of this stanza. These lines shows Prufrock has nothing grand to talk about but only small things. Prufrock represents the inability of modern man, so he confronts his destiny boldly. He can't confront his destiny boldly. So I think you understood it, and I will explain next stanzas in my next video. Thanks for watching this video.